Opportunity won't wait. Don't miss your chance to own the metal powering the tech revolution. Silver isn't just shiny, it's indispensable. It fuels clean energy, drives electric vehicles, and powers cutting-edge tech innovation. Here's the catch. Global demand is skyrocketing, but supplies are dwindling. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to invest in the metal that's shaping tomorrow's breakthroughs. As a bonus, open a qualified account and receive 2 5-ounce Silver America the Beautiful coins absolutely free. Silver powers progress, and progress powers your profit. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com.
Nice to meet you, Charlie. I'm a big fan. I think you're a very beautiful man. I admire you physically. But, no homo. No homo. No homo. I did have a question. Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive, is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Okay. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that. I don't like you as much as Charlie, though.
First of all, what's your name?
Sorry. I don't want to be like filmed and stuff.
Too late.
I'm anonymous, number one. Anonymous guy.
Okay. Well, hello. Nice to meet you, anonymous guy.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah. I believe in part of the essence of the Civil Rights Act went way too far, way too wide.
Oh, how did it go too far?
Well, for example, it created an entire civil rights leviathan that gave us affirmative action.
Civil rights leviathan? What do you mean?
Yeah, so if you can let me finish 3 words in.
Sorry.
It allowed the Department of Justice to go after people that have different skin color, a.k.a. white people, and prevent them from getting jobs in college admissions.
You have a job.
I'm sorry?
You have a job.
No, you're right, I do. Right, but just until Trump came around, until the Supreme Court decision, thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act. Not to mention all the trans stuff, and they use the Civil Rights Act to justify it.
Okay, I think I see where you're coming from. So you think that it's harder for white people because black people they could have lower tech scores? I get it.
It's not what I think. It's the fact.
That's what you're saying. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what I would say too. I think. Perhaps you're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's
which
Marxism.
Leads to different
I reject
the framing. Well, whether you reject it or not, I think it's a prescient concept in this argument. Because what you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like O Block or something, like a very, very, like a. Oh, you don't know what O Block is? Oh, well, if you're born there, if you're born in a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools with very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower. When you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right? So when you say in that kind of circumstance, when you're facing the whole, I guess, leviathan of systemic racism, when you say that, sorry, let me just finish it. When you say it's fair to, for example, lower the standard because knowing that their circumstances were like that, perhaps based on what they had, what was presented to them, they had the correct amount of merit to get into a school.
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay. Yeah. Can you give your GPA to her because she's a woman of color, please?
Oh, well, you want me to give you a... Well, I mean, I can.
Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
You'd cool with that?
Yeah,
so,
I'm fine. Wait, you mean
I want you...
Like, tell her or, like, give it to her?
By force.
Like, we're swapping it.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do. By force, white man,
okay, yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA, I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
there's no working back up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No, there's no working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back up? That's the whole point of conservatism, isn't it?
I'm going to keep on taking it from you because that's equity. And you're cool with that.
What? But that's not
This is equity in practice.
Equity isn't taking. Equity is applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take, and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
Well, what's being taken?
Well, in this case, grades from you to grades to her.
No one's taking my grades though. That's not what affirmative action is.
Hold on a second.
No one takes your grades.
Hold on a second. If you only have so many, you only have so many positions at University of South Florida to come in, right? There's a set number. Let's say it's 20,000 people, okay? And we're gonna say we're gonna lower the test standards so that somebody that's a woman of color can come in, and therefore it's harder for you. So it's a higher bar for you, lower bar for them. Definitionally, that's a redistribution of test scores to somebody else, just by the definition. And you're okay with that?
Well, I guess I would ask then, if we were to do what you're doing, I guess that's what's happening under Trump, right?
Well, no, it's actually been happening the last 40 years.
Okay, actually, yeah, whatever. Okay, so when you say that, if you do that, then well, black people aren't going to get into school, and then they won't be able to uplift themselves. They won't be able to have prosperous families. They won't be able to, equalize the economic status because you need to give them a little jump start. You know what? You have a car, right?
How is that? How is that? Well, no, now I know who you are.
No. It's good.
But no, how has that worked the last 40 years? We've had robust affirmative action.
No.
We've had hiring practices. Has it made Black America more successful?
I can answer that easily. It's because sorry. It's because sorry. What am I going for?
I don't know.
You're a funny guy. So what happened is even after the Civil Rights Act, you know what I believe the term is massive resistance. It was a movement in after the Brown versus Board of Education in Virginia, where essentially the legislature, which was still white supremacist, which is still extremely racist, they decided that no, we're going to do everything that feasibly possible within our means to stop black people from going to white schools. You even see this in I believe it was the Little Rock Nine, right? Even after it was legalized at the state level, white supremacist mobs still mobilized to prevent it. So even if it de facto it's gone, de jure it still exists.
Let me ask you a very simple question. A term you keep on throwing around.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
no, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer will essentially be because we have like different skin colors, that he's treated a different way than me. He has like a different upbringing than me.
No. But what is racism in practice?
It's discrimination.
Based on the color of the skin.
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Got it, thank you. So isn't it racist then to penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist? So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action and DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the f? No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here, bro. There's your clip, bro. There's your clip. Well, what are you gonna do political violence to me, bro? Like, why are you saying that to me? You're making me scared. Okay.
So let me tell you what we believe, because you tell us what you believe.
Okay.
Your worldview is indistinguishable from the KKK. That you want to organize the world based on skin color. We want to organize the world based on merit and character, based on how hard you work, what you bring to the table. I believe it's destructive and wrong to say that people are going to be organized or have their future set based on the color of their skin. I think it's tribalistic. I think it is divisive, and I think it hurts the excellence of a country. You asked a question, well, how are we going to help other communities? You know how you help other communities? Stop pandering to them and start treating them like individuals made in the image of God, not tribes to be organized for political purposes.
Okay, so do you think, like, when Trump is now he's president, now that racism is gone now because Trump is back and we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that the conditions of black people, do you think O Block is going to become, like, a much nicer place? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
Do you think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're going to do better.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing.
Because that seems like contradictory to me, just on basic logic.
Well, actually, black Americans under Donald Trump in the first term saw the greatest economic renaissance that they saw since the 1950s.
You don't think
highest
that's due to
wage
Obama,
increases, lowest unemployment, revitalization, amazing investment in their communities, opportunity zones.
But that's when we had affirmative action. So wouldn't that be bad?
Well, again, we actually got rid of affirmative action now.
But
it's
that was
better.
now, but I'm talking about before.
Those are unrelated things, though, just to be perfectly clear.
They don't seem unrelated to me.
Well, affirmative action
policies addressing racism. They seem
affirmative action is, again...
So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you are. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Affirmative action is largely federal government hiring practices and the adjacent institutions. I think that all communities will do even better when we stop living under the soft bigotry of low expectations. Inherent in your argument is that we have to pander to certain communities based on the color of their skin because they can't do as well as white people. I reject the premise. I think that we should try to say, I don't care about the color of your skin. I care about what you bring to the table. And stop pandering to people based on special criteria, points, and acceptance to college, saying that we're going to make it easier for one group and harder for another group.
I don't think it's pandering, though. I think it's understanding.
Okay, but let me... Do you think that...
circumstances and working based on that.
Do you think that we should have black-only dormitories in America?
No, why would I want that?
Okay, well, there's hundreds of schools that have those, actually.
What
and
do you
so,
mean black only? Like,
yeah.
they're not, white people are not allowed in
No,
at
white
all.
people are not allowed
White
in.
people, yeah, that's why I said
Yeah,
white people
exactly.
are not allowed
Correct. We have black-only
Uh,
graduation ceremonies across the country.
Well,
This
those are
is-
from, well, I believe those are most likely at, like, HBCUs, right?
No,
Like,
the University of Michigan has
Michigan
one,
has an
Yale
all-black
has
dormitory?
one, Harvard has one. So we're agreeing that is wrong. That is the furthest extension of hyper race obsession. So you could choose one or the other. You can be race obsessed or merit obsessed. We as conservatives decide to be merit obsessed, to build a country based on how hard you work and what you're able to deliver.
Okay, well, so wait, here, just, I wasn't...
Final point?
Oh, yeah, final point, sure, okay. Here, this thing's a little close. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend your wonderful setup here. Yeah, so I guess I'll just restate my point that, I don't believe, you mentioned, like, all-black dormitories, right? I mean, I don't really comment on that. I mean, I don't know if that's real. To me, that sounds fake, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here.
It's very real.
Okay, but I just think it's a very irrelevant kind of like aesthetic focused thing. It doesn't really affect the material conditions of like black
But
people.
if you
It
heard there
doesn't
were
really-
white-only dormitories, there'd be marching in the streets, right?
Oh, well, because okay, I get
What's
it.
the
I get it.
difference?
The difference is, like, for example, if you want to go back to segregation, the all-white dormitory was nice as and the all-black one was shit. So if that was brought back, okay, if we were to do an all-white dormitory and an all-black
I'm not
dormitory was
recommending it.
like-
I think actually
Okay.
segregation is wrong and evil, and we're heading, until Donald Trump, we were heading in that direction.
But like, okay, I'll go back to, because I let it slip by, but you mentioned that like in the early years of the Donald Trump presidency, right, that the conditions, the employment and stuff were going up for black people. What I would say is the economy works slow. It works at like a time dilation for when a policy is initially enacted. So what I would probably assume, based on what you said to me, is that it was the Obama era policies that actually led to that, and not the Trump policies, because stuff like tax cuts
I
for
just
the
love
rich
it.
doesn't really help.
In a year from now,
black
we're going to have the
people.
greatest economy ever. They're going to say, it's all Biden. It's all Biden.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the economy is going to shit with what all Elon Musk is doing. But if that was to happen, I mean, I guess my whole worldview. But I'm pretty certain it's not gonna happen.
What about Elon? What Elon's doing bothers you? Do you not want to see the government efficient?
The government is efficient. He's just firing everybody. Looks like he did to Twitter, bro. Y'all see what happened to Twitter, bro? It's racist as now. It's just a Nazi haven. It went from like a pretty accepting place to like what like where like the average blue checkmark is saying Hail Hitler. Like Elon Musk himself has replied to like, he did the Nazi salute. Like, we're not gonna forget about that, are we?
No, he didn't.
What do you mean? Y'all didn't see that clip, bro? Y'all see when he did that?
All right.
Oh, okay.
And by the way,
Yeah,
I just want to
thank you.
thank you for something.
You're welcome.
Well, I want to thank you.
Do I get a portion of like the TikTok revenue you're gonna get from this?
I want to
like,
thank you. I want to thank you for something.
Oh yeah.
You are a perfect reminder
I
why
got my
we won
Cash
in
App,
November.
though.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you.